Hey guys, what is going on? It is Chris here. We are already at week 3 for the NFL. Crazy time is definitely flying by pretty quick. Yeah, anyway, we're doing a video a little bit later in the week just because, as we know, there's been a lot of injuries popping up with Fournette and Rogers and some of the lead backs there, Jay Ajayi, Delvin Cook, and stuff like that. So decided to do it on Saturday just because I know if I would have done it on Thursday, a lot of news would have popped up, which it did. Dalvin Cook news popped up a little late too. So, yeah. Anyway, we're doing it Saturday, and there still could be a couple things coming out. Fournette still day to day. Yeldon's day to day. So we'll have to see what happens with those two. Fournette should play, but like I said, we'll have to see. So yeah, anyway, like I said, week 3, and a lot of value opened up in the running back position. So it's up to you guys if you want to go full in on your running back, full on cheapness on your running backs, or get one cheap running back and then fill up, with Alvin Kamara, or go get Todd Gurley or something like that. So yeah, anyway, yeah, let's go look at the totals here. We got Buffalo, Minnesota. We got a 40 total in Minnesota by 16, so obviously Minnesota defense is in play. New Orleans, Atlanta, I love both sides of this the ball here. Cincinnati, Carolina, 44 total. We'll get into this game here. This one's an interesting one. The Giants and Houston, another interesting one. At a very low total at 42.5. Tennessee and Jacksonville, 39 total. Another interesting one there. Jacksonville defense definitely is in play. Here's your cash game ownership right here. San Francisco and Kansas City at a 55 total. Oakland and Miami a 44 total there. Only a 3 spread. Oh, sorry about that. So that one could be interesting. Maybe Ryan Tannehill could be in play. Maybe get you 17 or 18 at low ownership. Moving on, we got Denver and Baltimore, 45.5 total, and Baltimore by 5. Baltimore defense just sucked really bad last week, and Denver offense wasn't really as good as it was week 1. So that one's a little interesting there. Indy and Philly, both these teams have a lot of injuries, so 47 total in that one. Man, apologize for that, guys. A little bit of a sickness going on. Anyway, we got Green Bay and Washington, 45 total. Rodgers still questionable there. A 2 spread by Green Bay. Chargers Rams should be a good one with the 48 total. Chicago and Arizona, 38 total, and Chicago by 5. Their defense is looking pretty good, so don't mind Chicago. Dallas, Seattle, 41 total, and Seattle by 1. And that is it. Those other 2 games are not on the main slate. But this one, man, this is going to be a good one here for Monday night, 1-game slate. So as you see, we got a lot of games in the mid 40s. We got a couple in the upper 50s and 1 or 2 in the low 40s to high 30s. So should be an interesting one. Let's definitely get into it here. So yeah, first one, New Orleans and Atlanta. As I said, this is a 53.5 total, and Atlanta only by 3. So, usually between these 2 teams, it's a shootout. I don't mind Drew Brees. I really don't mind Ryan in this one. I think he'll be overlooked. I don't think his ownership will be crazy high in this one. I like him. I really do. Usually shows up against New Orleans here. Had a good one against Carolina. Very accurate as well. Also, they don't have Freeman, so it's going to have to make him throw the ball a little bit more. I think he can get you around 25, 26. I really like Ryan. I really do. I'd rather have him than Drew Brees. Obviously, Alvin Kamara, Tevin Coleman. I don't mind him. I like him more on DraftKings since it's a PPR over there. I just still don't mind him on Fanduel, but yeah, I love him a lot more on DK. Obviously, like I said, Alvin Kamara. Like him quite a bit. Michael Thomas, love the dude. Don't mind Jones, but I'd rather have Thomas if you can get both of them. That's a definite plus to you. A lot of people won't have Ted Ginn, but I think he can get you 12 to 13 and be overlooked in ownership. Calvin Ridley, if people like him, that is up to you guys if you want to go that way. I'm not really feeling him. Not really feeling that area either. So yeah. Breeze and Ryan both in play. I'd rather have Ryan save a little bit more money. Alvin Kamara, obviously, in play. Have to have him, I think. He's going to be a good part of this running game. Well, a little bit of the running game. He's not really a running. He's a running back, but as we know, he catches the ball. Then Coleman, he's a DraftKings play for me. And like I said, Michael Thomas would have him over Julio Jones. But if you can get both of them, don't mind them. And I think Ted Ginn goes overlooked, but he can probably get you around 14 to 15 in this one. So that's where I'm going at. That's obviously a cashy game there. A lot of people are going to have people from that one. So nobody that really is sneaky in that one there. All right, moving on, Oakland and Miami here. We have a 44.5 total here, and Miami by 3, so it could be an interesting one. Like I said, a couple people like Tannehill. That is up to you guys if you want to go that way. Very cheap. Ownership should be nowhere to be found. Bortles will probably be a little bit more popular out of those two in the cheap range. So that's up to you guys. Doesn't really pass a lot. So personally, I'm probably not going to have him. But, a couple people like him here. Running back, I know he's not the sexiest pick and no one's going to have him, but he's been pretty consistent for 6,400, 11 and 13. Maybe put him in a one tournament, maybe in a one-off. But overall, probably not. Don't really want him in there. Devontae Parker's back, so that might hurt Kenny Stills a little bit. Overall, I don't care for this game at all. You can always look at Jared Cook as a safety net there for for Derek Carr. So yeah, maybe Cook and then Dolphins defense. You can look at them, but that's really it. I don't care for that game too much. Next, we got Houston and New York Giants. Giants just looking pathetic this year. Houston, they're struggling as well. 42.5 total. When's Watson going to break out? A lot of people are asking that. Could this be the week against a defense that has a couple guys out with Eli Apple and one other cornerback? Who knows? It could be $7,700 at home in Houston, controlled environment. Who knows? It could happen. He did okay against Tennessee, so who knows? I don't mind him. 7,700. I think he'll be lower owned. I'd probably take Watson in a tournament. I'd probably take Ryan, probably in a cash game. If you had to pick between the two. Don't mind some Saquon Barkley if you want to go that way, but is he a need? Probably not. Wide receiver, I really don't mind some Will Fuller. I mean, this dude's been hot. Really like him. Really do. Had that one game against Tennessee, 8 receptions, 113 yards. A little bit cheaper than Hopkins. I like him. Like I said, I just told you about the injuries. Giants are a little shaken up on the defense. I love Fuller. I really do. I'd rather have him than Hopkins. To be completely honest with you, I think he can get you 17, 18 in this one. Really like Will Fuller. Ownership should be maybe relatively high, but that's definitely the guy I'm going to there. And that's probably it that I'm looking at there. You can look at the Houston defense, but there's better defenses out there this week. So yeah, like I said, Will Fuller, he's probably the one I'm looking at, and then Watson. Those are probably the two that I'm looking at. Watson and Fuller, I don't mind pairing those two in a lineup. All right, moving on. Green Bay, Washington. Obviously, as we know, what's going on with Rodgers? Is he going to play? I personally think he's going to play. He played through it last week. He's just cautious about it because of the injury last year. I know it's totally different, but if it's lingering, it definitely is a better chance of it hurting in the long term. So he still didn't look too bad. Got rid of the ball a lot quicker last week. Still threw 42 times against a really hard defense. So I'm not going to pay for him this week, but I don't mind some of his wide receivers. One guy that I think is going to go overlooked because of the ownership probably from the Phillies running backs and a couple there for the Bengals is Aaron Jones. I don't know how his usage is going to be coming back from a 2-game suspension. Look half decent there in the preseason. I don't know if they're going to put him in right away, how much they're going to use the dude. We'll see. Jamal Williams, he's been trashed, so that opens up a door there for Aaron Jones. So definitely keep that in mind. Chris Thompson, he's not too bad either. Probably not going to be well owned, but he's been sneaky good so far, 21 and 15. Look at these targets, man. 7 and then a huge one there, 14 targets. You got to be looking at that. I mean, that's pretty good. He'll probably get about 9 or 10 in this one. In a game that could turn out to be a relatively high-scoring game. Look at Thompson. I don't think his ownership should be too high. Definitely watch out for him. Right, you got Devontae Adams, Rondo Cobb. You got Allison here. I don't mind Randall Cobb. I know I don't. He had a terrible week last week against the Vikings, but yes, I know Allison is kind of taking a little bit of his targets, but I think he could be an interesting GPP in this one. Out of those three wide receivers, I do not think he'll be the popular one. So maybe put him in there in a one-off. He's only $6,100. Randall Cobb is. Do I like him a lot? No, I don't. I probably put him in one just to see how it goes. I mean, it is Randall Cobb. Rodgers does find all of his guys, so maybe put him in there in a one-off. I really don't mind him. Obviously, Allison, a lot of people are going to have him, and for good reason. I think he's in a good spot. Don't know what's going on with Jimmy Graham. I don't really want to touch him. So I'm looking at probably Randall Cobb in a one-off, and I don't mind some Allison there either. And then, like I said, maybe a one-off there for Aaron Jones. So I don't know how his usage is going to be, so that's the only bad thing there. So if I had to pick in this one, probably Cobb and Allison are my two options in this one here. All right, moving on. Like I said, we're going through this quick just because there's so many games. We got Cincinnati and Carolina. Anyway, Cam threw the ball a ton last week, and still they lost. When Cam throws a lot, they don't do good. 335 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He did good on fantasy, but yeah, they're just not good. Carolina's not good when he throws the ball, and they don't have anybody. Olsen's out. Samuel, one of their wide receivers, is out. So going to be a little interesting here. Let me go look. We got a 44 total, so relatively close with Carolina by 3. McCaffrey for sure. Don't mind him on FanDuel. Definitely got to have him there on DraftKings. He's a beast over there. He's expensive, but I like him for sure. Giovanni Bernard, he'll be popular. That's up to you guys if you want to go that way. I personally not really buying into it. Carolina, they're actually a pretty good defense up front there. Their defensive ends are pretty powerful. And I think if you're going to beat Carolina, like I said, I'm a big Carolina fan. If you're going to beat Carolina this week, you're going to beat them in the secondary. Their secondary is complete crap. AJ Green, like I said, Tyler Boyd, those are the two you're going to be looking at. I'm really not into Giovanni Bernard. If you get you 9 or 10, woo, good for you. He is 6,400. I'm not buying into it. I don't think that's the way they're going to win. They're not going to win this week. I don't think they're going to be up a ton for Bernard to be running. I'm just not buying into Bernard. Like I said, his ownership is going to be skyrocketed, but I don't care for it. I really don't. Anyway, getting into Green and Tyler Boyd. Yeah, I like this too. Boyd a little bit cheaper. John Ross, he looked good last week, but I like Boyd. 4,700. He's really cheap this week. Like I said, their secondary is complete trash. Looked pretty good there that week too. His targets aren't too bad, 9 of 5. Obviously, they threw the ball there quite a bit against Baltimore, but I still think he can get you around 9 to 10 points, and at 4,700. Really don't mind some Tyler Boyd there. AJ Green should be popular. Do I like him over Thomas? Definitely not. But still, you can consider him. DJ Moore might get a little bit more here. They're trying to get him into this rotation. He's only seen 2 targets in that game there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with him. First round pick last year. So, yeah, don't know what's going on. Green and, like I said, Green and Tyler Boyd are the two you're going to be looking at in this one. And that's probably it. That's probably what I'm looking at. Those are probably the only two I'm looking at. Like I said, I'm not buying the Giovanni Bernard hype this week. Just 6,400, too risky for a guy that is facing a team with a pretty good defensive end. Like I said, secondary's trash, and that's where they're probably going to beat him if they do. Cam, I don't mind him, but 8,300, I don't think he's really worth it. He might get you at 24, 25. That's up to you guys if you want to go that way. If you go that way, probably put him in a tournament. He won't be popular, so maybe that's a good thing there. But like I said, they have no offense right now, so don't really want to attack their offense. Anyway, moving on, we got San Francisco and KC. Like I said, this should be the cash game here. 55 total. Kansas City by 6. They jumped Mahomes' price up for good reason. 8,900. He's a cash game pick only. Like I say, put him in a couple tournaments, but he'll be 75, 80% owned. So obviously Mahomes, don't mind him. Jimmy G, he's been up and down the last couple games, but Kansas City, their defense is trash, so he might get you 20 to 22 points in this one. Matt Breida, some people like him. Like I said, that's up to you if you want to go that way. Don't think his ownership should be too crazy high in this one. He only rushed 11 times for 138 yards. I think they're going to be throwing the ball quite a bit in this one. He still might get you 9 to 10 points, but overall, not really caring for him too much. Hunt, maybe put him in there in one lineup. Not really feeling him. Tyreek Hill, that's an obvious right there. Put him in there. San Francisco don't really care for their wide receivers. You can take a shot on George Kittle again if you want to go that way. Going to burn a lot of people last week, but he has pretty good upside. I think he can get you around 10 to 12 on this one. And Travis Kelce at 7,500 is the number one tight end on the slate for obvious reasons. 26.4, just annihilated last week, and another easy matchup against San Francisco. So if you can get him in there, definitely getting Kelce. So looking at Kelce, looking at Hill, and probably looking at Mahomes and Jimmy G. Those are the four cash game options to look at in that one. All right, moving on. We have Denver and Baltimore here. We have a 45.5 total in Baltimore by 5. So one guy that I really like, and nobody is going to have him, and like I said, I mentioned him last week, and he had a pretty good week, is Mr. Philip Lindsay. This dude I like him, 6,400. He's still priced pretty good. Yes, I know Baltimore has a pretty good defense here, but he's Keenum's kind of safety net here. 14 rushes, 107 yards. This dude's been pretty consistent, 17 and 11. I really don't mind him. I think he can get you around 10 to 12. Is he a must play? Probably not for 6,400. He was last week. I'd probably put him in a one-off if you want to go that way. But yeah, really don't mind Philip Lindsay. I just like watching him play. Emmanuel Sanders, don't mind him this week. I think he's in play if you want to go that way. I don't think anyone's going to have him, but he's popping up in a couple of the cheat sheets, so I don't mind maybe going in a one-off with him. But that's really it. That's all I care for in this one. Not really looking at anything else in that one. All right, moving on. Buffalo and Minnesota. As I mentioned, should be a blowout of 40 total in Minnesota by 16. Anyway, as we know, Dalvin Cook is out. I'd probably take Latavius Murray over Giovanni Bernard. I know Murray, he screwed a lot of us last week. He's really last year, not the craziest best running back. When Cook went down, we're like, oh, Murray's going to save the day. And how did that go? Didn't really work out last year. I'm expecting 8 to 10 from this guy. Not a lot, but he's 5,200. He should have a relatively high usage in this one because they're going to be up in this one. So I think they're going to be pounding the ball pretty good for Murray. He might get you 3.5 yards per carry, maybe 2.5, 3. He's not going to get you a lot, but he's probably going to finish with probably 19 to 20 carries for 60, 65 yards in this one. Maybe a touchdown. We'll see. So, yeah, I'd probably go Murray over Giovanni Bernard in this one. And that's really it. That's really all I'm looking at. You can obviously go defense there with Minnesota if you can afford them. So those are probably the two I'm looking at, Minnesota defense and Latavius Murray. Don't really want to touch Buffalo off release. Obviously, they're in Minnesota. Minnesota kills there. All right, moving on. Indy and Philly. So Philly, man, what's going on? They're not looking too good, but obviously they get their savior back with Carson Wentz. We got a 47 total in Philly. This place should be rocking here in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz. Like I said, this place will be rocking and rolling here. So Carson Wentz, I don't mind putting him in there, 7,400. I think he can easily get you 19 to 22 in this one. I really like Wentz. Take a shot with him. I like him. Anyway, running back, JJ is out. Corey Clement, game time decision, but the reports are saying that he should play. If for some reason he doesn't play, you can put in Wendell Smallwood. But, Clement, he should have a relatively high usage in this one. Sproles and JJ are out. So that is up to you guys. Like I said, some people are saying put in Murray and Corey Clement in the same lineup. I think that's a little too risky. Both these guys are obviously backups for a reason. I think if you put in one or the other, you're fine. But if you put in two, I think that's kind of a trap because I mean, chances are both of them going off probably not going to happen. So, but yeah, don't mind him. Nelson Aguilar, obviously, I love this dude. He's in a very good spot this week. Alshon Jeffrey, still don't think he's going to play. They did sign Jordan Matthews back to Philadelphia. So if for some reason Jeffrey does play, I'm probably going to fall off Jeffrey. Sorry, Aguilar just a little bit. But, you know, with that signing of Matthews, well, I'm pretty sure they signed him. He's not on here, but I'm pretty sure they signed him. I saw a report. But anyway, Aguilar, yeah, for sure. If Jeffrey does play, that hurts him a little bit. But Philly is already limited at the wide receiver position. So I really like Aguilar at 6,600 against an Indy team that is trash. Zach Ertz, yeah, I don't mind him, but I think the cash pick for sure is Eric Ebron. Jack Doyle's so Ebron, his targets might go up 2 or 3, but he's a big red zone threat. Even if Doyle was playing, I still like the Ebron 5,500. He's in a pretty good spot. Definitely don't mind him. And I don't mind Philly defense here, 4,400. I don't think their ownership should be too high. Anyway, they don't have Mac, Indy that is. That's going to hurt him just a little bit, I think. Some people like this Hines guy, but against Philly, I'm not really feeling it. So what I'm looking at is Eric Ebron for sure. Zach Ertz, I think he can get you around 15 points. I really do. So if you don't have the money for Kelsey, I don't mind Ertz. I think he's going to have a good one in this one. So Ertz and Ebron for sure. Nelson Aguilar, Corey Clement, and then Carson Wentz. I'm loving him quite a bit. His price will skyrocket, so definitely take advantage of that $7,400. All right, moving on. We got Tennessee and Jacksonville. Yeah, this total is really, really low. 39.5 at Jacksonville by 9. So anyway, Tennessee, as we know, Mariota's probably not going to play. Blaine Gabbert, he is crap. He was terrible last week. So yeah, well, Steve, a lot of people like Blake Bortles. I don't mind him. Is he going to get you a lot like last week? Probably not. He'll probably get you around 18 to 19, depending on Fournette. If Fournette plays, I'm not really liking Bortles. I think they're going to slow this game down. Fournette's probably going to run the ball quite a bit, so that can be an interesting one, depending on how Fournette's feeling. You know, if he's feeling, 80-20, we'll see. But if he's back to full health, which the reports are saying that he's back to full health, don't mind him. So Bortles, yeah, he's still in play, but is he really going to need to throw? Obviously, there was stats with Fournette out. He throws over 300 yards a game, and obviously with Fournette in there, he doesn't throw as much for obvious reasons. You know, he doesn't really need to throw when Fournette's in there. So guessing Fournette's going to play, so that hurts Bortles a little bit. Is he still in play? Yeah, I don't mind him. Tennessee defense sucks, but he's not going to get you like he did last week. Like I said, maybe 18, 19 at max for Blake Bortles. And that's really it. That's all I care about in that one. You can look at the Jacksonville defense, but they're 5K, which obviously is pretty expensive. All right, moving on to the afternoon games. We got LA and LA. Should be a good one here. Chargers and Rams, so 48 total, and the Rams by 7. So, yeah, man, that defense is looking pretty good this year. Obviously, Chargers' offense isn't too bad, but, man, don't know if you can really pick Melvin Gordon there against McDonald, Ndamukong Suh. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't mind Gordon, but I don't know if I can really put him in this one. If you still want to put him in, I don't mind it. But obviously, good picks, Todd Gurley. Jared Goff, I think he goes overlooked in this one. I like him. Brandon Cooks, he's looking pretty good. Ownership will be pretty low, but I don't mind him in this one. And that's probably what I am looking at. So don't mind Jared Goff. Don't mind, obviously, Todd Gurley. And I don't mind a one-off with Brandon Cooks. Like I said, popularity won't really be there. So the two obvious picks, Gurley and Goff, are the ones that I'm looking at in this one. All right, Dallas and Seattle. Probably going to be a slower game here. Anyway, this is Seattle's first home game of the year. We got a 41 total here and 1.5 spread by Seattle. So this should be an interesting one here. Both these quarterbacks aren't throwing a lot right now. Wilson, I was watching him last game. He wasn't scrambling at all. He was just holding the ball too long, fumbling the ball. Don't know what's going on here. Who knows? He plays better at home, so maybe you can put in Wilson. He is 7,800. Um, so that's the only crappy thing there. I don't mind Ezekiel Elliott if you want to put him in there, but they are in Seattle. I know they're not the same team, but when you get into that area, it's loud there. So Tyler Lockett, I don't mind him. I think he's in a half decent spot once again at only $6,500. Yeah, for some reason Aguilar, like I said, if Jeffrey, I really don't think they're going to use him a lot, but if Jeffrey comes back and you're a little scared about that with Aguilar, which I don't think you should be, Tyler Lockett's probably a good safety net at 13 14 for $100 cheaper. That's probably where I would go. Ownership should be nowhere to be found on that one. And maybe put in this Will Dissly guy, 4,600. He doesn't really do a lot, but he does get in the red zone. And as you see there, 18 and 11.7 in his first two games. So if you need someone cheap, 4,600, I don't think a lot of people will have him. Kind of Wilson's safety net there. Will Dissly is a big dude. So some people like the Dallas defense. That's up to you guys if you want to go that way. So Will Dissly and a couple, one-off GPPs to save some salary. Tyler Lockett if you don't want to go Aguilar. And that's really it for me. That's probably what I'm looking at in that one. All right, last but not least, Chicago and Arizona. So, yeah, it's kind of weird saying Chicago is a half-decent team this year. We got a 38 total, which is terrible, and Chicago by a 5 spread. I don't mind Trubisky in this one, but probably not going to pick him. People like Allen Robertson. I probably like him more on DK just because he gets a half-decent amount of targets over there. As you see there, last game he had 10 for 13.3. Hasn't found the end zone yet. Probably, like I said, that's a DK thing for me. Don't mind a Howard, but really not into this game at all. Looking at the probably Chicago Bears defense, they're probably one of my favorite on the slate, but that's it. I don't care for that team so much. Like I said, Robertson, he's in play, but not really in play in my lineup. So, yeah, anyway, let's try and get you guys a lineup here. Let's go. Don't mind some Jimmy G. Like I said, obviously, if you get Mahomes in there, put him in there if you can. Don't mind some Michael Thomas for sure. Obviously, Corey Clement, he's in a pretty good spot. Alvin Kamara. Defense, there's not really too many cheap ones this week defensively. I guess. If you need to, like I said, you can go down to Dolphins or Cowboys if you need to go that way. Let's go Nelson Aguilar. Put him in there. $5,600. If you want to go cheap for another running back, sorry, that is up to you guys. If you want to go that way, let's see who else we got at wide receiver that I'm looking at. Go put in some Boyd, save a little bit of money there. Let's see, we put that in there, 7,200. Yeah, you got Chris Thompson, you got Tyler Lockett in that area. Definitely can change that up a little bit. I don't mind the wide receivers, but I'm probably going to go at least two big boys in there. Maybe go get Thomas and Jones, and then probably go Boyd, and then maybe go put Aguilar as my flex if I can get it in there like that. Probably not going to have Kelsey. I really want him, but I don't think I can get him in there. If I do that, I might have to sacrifice Bortles. Two Bortles, which is he really worth it this week? Depending on on that total, should be a slow game. So a lot of interesting ones. Like I said, if you want to double down on your cheap running backs, that's up to you guys. I just think that's a little risky. You can easily go Alvin Kamara and Todd Gurley in this one, and sacrifice one of your big boys and go. You could probably go two mid ranges and then a cheap wide receiver. So this is up to you guys. A lot of different ways to go this week. If you want to stack running backs, if you want to go cheap on running backs, or if you want to stack your wide receivers, a lot of different ways to go this week. So we still got a couple injuries to look at coming out, obviously, with Rodgers, Fournette. Like I said, a couple more to look at and before Sunday, which is like I said, 1 day and 9 hours away. So we'll see. Should be a good one. As normal, if you guys want to join us, we'd love to have you guys join us. Only $10 a week, $30 for the month, or it's going to be $140 for the season with playoffs, and you automatically get NBA preseason absolutely free. And NBA is right around the corner. Starts on the 28th. For NBA preseason. We are accepting season long for NBA, and we are also accepting NBA preseason as well. $15 for the entire preseason. That's very, very cheap. I did summer league, so I kind of have a feel on some of these. Some of these guys here that are going to be playing in the kind of the preseason. So definitely not too shabby there. So like I said, $15 there for NBA preseason. And then also we will also have our NBA season long available for you guys as well. So if you want to get in on a preseason and NBA season, our website will be in the comment section. Also sign up for NFL as well. Like I said, we have a new little system going on, which obviously a lot of you guys heard of, is Slack. That's where we post our lineups at, and also we discuss with our members and stuff, fantasy purposes and stuff like that. So definitely a good little tool that we added for this year. Just makes it a lot more easier for you guys to contact us and and talk to us and ask some questions. And already the subs are guys are already liking the new system instead of having to do it through Twitter. So like I said, we'd love to have you guys sign up for NFL and NBA. Like I said, all the information will be on our website. Just follow the directions. We'll get you all set up. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, have any questions, our Twitter will be in the comment section as well. And as normal, I didn't mention it, but if you guys want my own personal player pool, you know what to do. Sign up with the link in the comment section. The only way to get my own personal player pool will be through the link down below. So I'll probably have about 15, 20 guys in my player pool that I really, really love. And then, like I said, you guys can easily just put them in the optimizer and optimize them, or you can just take those guys in your own personal lineup, maybe take 3 or 4 of them and plug them in there. Like I said, a lot of you guys really like my own personal player pool. So like I said, to get in on everything, website, to hit me up and ask questions. We will have our Twitter down there, and then to get my own personal player pool, the link will be down in the comment section. So hopefully you guys have a pretty good week 3. NBA just right around the corner. Definitely getting excited for it. So alrighty, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. We definitely do appreciate it. If you have any questions or any players that you like this week, leave it in the comment section, and we'll comment back and kind of talk about it. So alrighty, guys, hopefully you guys have a good week, and we'll see you guys a little later.